Hi, it's Steve from Brownells again with another gun from the vault. And today I've got Bobby Tyler from Tyler Gun Works in Texas with me because we're looking at some guns that belong to a Texas Ranger, a very famous one. Bobby?
So, not just a Texas Ranger, this was Charlie Miller. And this engraved Colt and this little Remington carbine were two of Charlie Miller's firearms that he used. You'll see there's a couple of badges here. Charlie Miller was not just a Texas Ranger. He was a gritty, get-it-done kind of guy. I think he was kind of the guy they'd send out when the metal met the road.
Yeah, and these guns were his tools. This Model 14 Remington and 30 Remington is a handy little carbine, something he could get in and out of a vehicle, in and out of a scabbard, whatever. He had it with him whenever he needed it.
Yes.
And that 1911 there, if you take a look at the grip, that grip safety is tied down for a reason. Charlie didn't believe in that thing being operable. It might interfere with his abilities.
Yeah, so literally they took a piece of leather and lashed it down.
Yeah.
So that when they grabbed the firearm, I mean, obviously he still has a thumb safety, so he was not without a safety. And in today's society, you know, changing a safety's somewhat an oddity, but this guy, he didn't have to answer to us.
Yeah, he didn't
care. He got the job done. He took care of business, and really, he worked all over the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Different times. You know, he was instrumental in livestock management, theft, and
which is a big deal down there.
It really
Huge
is.
deal.
I mean, Texas Cattle Raisers Association, and so he was a key factor in getting a lot of that set up, and just a really all-around, pretty rugged Texas Ranger.
Right, and he knew how to use his guns.
Yeah.
And this was in an era when you couldn't call for backup and have somebody flown out to you or get there in a car right away. A lot of times a Ranger was on their own.
So very elaborately engraved Colt commercial towards the end of his career, based on our opinion.
Sure, but he used the 1911 on and off throughout his career, didn't he?
Right. Yeah, I believe he did, and stag grips, just an all-round staple of the good old Texas Ranger, which needs no introduction.
Right, and he was unusual. I read that he carried it in condition too, with the hammer on half-cock and tucked in his waistband, which is a little different.
Yeah. But
if he felt comfortable doing it, I mean, that was the way it worked for him.
Right. Well, he got the job done.
He got the job done. And so much so that none other than Frank Hamer was his commander for a while when he was, I forget which company it was, one of those Texas Ranger companies.
I think he was with F, and he was with C, and possibly even another one. So absolutely, Charlie Miller is one that needs no introduction, but he was somebody that we...
And that's kind of why these guns are worth looking at, because he was a man who could be counted on to get the job done.
Right.
So if you're not familiar with this gun, it's a Remington Model 14. It's a pump action gun chambered in 30 Remington, which is basically a rimless 30-30. So it's got more than enough power to, for law enforcement use. These grooves in the magazine were put in there so they would skew the cartridge tips so they wouldn't rest on a primer ahead of them. It's kind of a neat deal. But the size is just right. It's a light rifle, it's quick to operate, short barrel, and like I said earlier, easy to get in and out of a car or out of a scabbard on a horse.
Right.
And a Texas Ranger, you didn't know how you're going to get there. Jeep, boat, car, horse.
Whatever it took.
Yeah, whatever it took to get there. And that commercial 1911, that's just a nice 1911.
It really is. Hand engraved. I mean, it's your typical classy, straight to business Texas Ranger gun, in my opinion. When I think of a Texas Ranger gun, that's what I think.
Yeah, their guns weren't ornaments. They were actually tools to be used.
That's right.
So, a lot of history to unpack there. Well, Bobby, thanks for helping me walk through that.
Absolutely.
And we'd like to thank Rock Island Auction House for bringing these guns over and letting us look at them. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again with another edition of From the Vault.